Here's a pop quiz. Two of these people are making money in the markets. One of them isn't. Can you spot who? 3, 2, 1. Today we're going to go over the 3 types of people who are involved in the markets, show you who's making money, who isn't, and why. Let's do this. Hi, I'm Christoph Marzlik. I've been a professional trader and investor for almost 20 years, and I'm here on a mission to help you become a better trader, investor, and ultimately have a better life. That's my goal. Here we go. Let's talk about this. The 3 types of people in the market. Who are you? Trader, speculator, or investor? I think the best way for me to begin this video is with a nice, lovely image of a farmer's market. It's Sunday afternoon. It's beautiful. Lots of stands, lots of people, the noise, lots of commotion, some excitement. There's kids. There's people shopping. Oh, look, honey, grab those apples. They look beautiful, don't they? And then there's these 3 guys. Who are they? These 3 guys, amidst the chaos, are the trader, the speculator, and the investor. And I think that these 3 terms, we're going to go over each one of them, are grossly inaccurately described out in the trading investment knowledge area, okay? That's why I'm making this video, because we have to set the record straight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with the trader, a true trader, okay? An edge finder, inefficiency seeker. He's an asymmetric setup creator, okay? They are in the market. They're in it day to day. They're living and breathing in the market, okay? They are business people. They provide inadvertently, they provide a service of liquidity, price discovery. However, I would even say more so price correction. This is a new term. I feel like I don't hear that very often. I'm gonna have a whole video about this. Price correction, not necessarily price discovery. They have relationships. In the farmers market example, they know the vendors, they know the grocery stores, they know the farmers. They're in the middle. They're the middlemen. Okay? In trading, they have relationships with exchanges, with vendors, with various other entities that are involved in the operations of financial trading. They're in the business, baby. They're in the business, okay? Their time frame, milliseconds, seconds, minutes, maybe hours, but they're not speculating. I want to really emphasize, they're not speculating on the price of blueberries, okay? They're in the farmer's market. They're just transacting. They're in the ebb and flow of the marketplace. They see the buyers, they see the sellers. They see some coming in. They know how to handle it. Okay? And they're in the mix. They're not speculating. They're not saying, I'm going to hold on to these blueberries because I think they're going to go up. Okay? They see the market today, right now. They react to it at its moment. And then they go home and they reflect on how to be better the next day. That's a trader. That's a trader. Okay? Who is this guy? He's a speculator. And this is where there's a lot of knowledge out there is confused. That's why I'm making these videos, because frankly, it's frustrating. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I'm like, how is this stuff not available? If it's not available by now, then obviously I got to do it, okay? They're guessing, they're gambling. They do tons of research. Don't get me wrong, okay? They know the fundamentals. They know how, some of them know how blueberries are grown, whatever. They know a lot of details. They know the technicals. Holy cow, the MACDs. They got so many lines on their charts, it's just insane. Does he have a MACD? Does he have a MACD on his computer there? Oh, of course he does. Look at that. I didn't even tell AI to do that, by the way. I said, show me a guy holding a computer with a chart, and it drew the MACD automatically. They think they can predict the future. Like, bro, the price of blueberries, man, they're about to pop. Actually, that could also be poop, can't it? Maybe pop is bullish, poop is bearish. That's what we're going to go with, all right? So you decide. I'll let you decide. Is he bullish or bearish? His holding time frame, days, weeks, months. Okay, he's not in the mix. He's more like showing up and saying, you know what? I think I'm going to buy some coconuts today, and because I think coconuts are going to go up. Okay, obviously, by the way, the farmer's market is the market. That was the analogy. I forgot to say it earlier. Who's the investor? Whole different side of the equation, right? He doesn't care about the price of blueberries today. He doesn't care whether the farmer's market's even selling blueberries. He's an investor in the idea of a market. In the concept of a farmer's market, he's in there. He wants to make sure the vendors are happy. He wants to make sure the buyers are happy. He puts his capital towards the bigger picture. He's not looking at prices. He's day to day, for sure not. He's paying attention to a broader, holistic point of view, the development and direction and the people in charge of the business, okay? He wants to make sure that it's growing correctly on a bigger scale. He doesn't care about the blueberry prices. He cares that the blueberry farmer is doing well, okay? And if not, he cares how to fill that empty stand with another vendor. He's long-term, years, decades. Okay, whole different type of thing here, right? Where did those three guys, let's take another picture of them. Where did these three guys, the trader, an actual trader, the speculator, and the investor, where do they lie on the edge timeline curve? I think you guys can probably guess, okay? And by the way, if you don't know the edge timeline curve, I have a whole nother video going through the different hold times of a trade or investment and how that has a huge role in your chance of success, okay? So where do they lie? Well, I think you guys could have guessed this. They lie here. The guy who's in the mix, he's in the minutes, seconds, milliseconds. Maybe he can creep into the hours, sometimes days, but not very much, okay? Not typically. That wouldn't be his business. And I'm going to give you a real life example here. I know somebody who is a trader in the dry ingredients industry, okay? He connects people between the creator of a dry ingredient, the supply, and ultimately the demand side being a retail shop. He's the middleman there. He connects the dots. He gets paid on the spread. Similarly, think about a gold shop, a coin and gold and silver shop. The ones that have been in business for a long time, they know not to hold on to inventory. They buy from the seller, the customer. They'll buy a bar of gold, and they already locked it in with the refinery right away. They're just making that margin. It's slim, unfortunately for them. I wish it was thicker for them, but it's slim. That's their world. If they were holding on to inventory because they're like, I think the price of silver is going up, they start to go into speculative mode. And yes, there's going to be times where those people win. But over the long run, I'm talking about long term here, a real career, it's a tough game. It really is. These guys, I think you know how I feel about them in general. Again, they might win occasionally, but long term, I'm talking long term here, a career in doing this. And then there's the investor, and the whole thing kind of flips back again to the upside, okay? They are the long-term variable in this whole equation, okay? That's where they lie in the edge timeline curve. All right, let's do a brief summary. 3 types of people in the market. Trader, speculator, investor. Who are you? You need to ask yourself this. Say it out loud too. Look over your trades. Talk to your spouse. Call your mom if you need to. Call your mom. Say, Mom, I watched the video and I'm trying to figure out who I am. It turns out I think I might be a speculator. That's okay, by the way. I know I poo-poo on them a little bit too much. Maybe not enough or maybe too much. I started as a speculator. We all do. And it's okay if that's where you're at. Hopefully you're here because you've tried to do that and you're like, oh man, it's not working. And is this whole trading thing not real? I've seen a lot of comments like that before, not in my videos, but on others, of like, I don't know if this whole trading thing is real. People making money. I can tell you right now, 18 plus years, I'm making money as a trader though, not a speculator. And this is where we have to differentiate those terms out there. And I'm going to be the voice of this. I'm telling you right now, please follow along with me in this journey. So I'm going to say, follow along with me in this journey. We're going to change this rhetoric. Here's the good news. This is such good news. You can become the trader and the investor. The time has never been better. And think about this for a moment. What do I mean by that? Okay. Before electronic trading, over 20 years ago, 25 plus years ago, this was a select group of people sitting in the pit. Let's show a picture of that. This was the pit, okay, at CME, CBOT, New York Stock Exchange, wherever. Different pits, different exchanges. These were the traders. All right. They had insight into true edge. And what we're talking here, maybe 50 people in a pit, maybe 100. Select group. Sometimes it's somebody's cousin. You had to have broad shoulders, 6'4", and the loudest voice possible to win, even at that game. And it was closed. It was closed. Now with electronic trading, and by the way, when I say now with electronic trading, my goodness, It's been 25 years. And this is what also irks me, that the knowledge isn't out there, and it should already have kind of come out by now. I mean, this is the reality. Everybody can be a trader now. Okay? Everybody can be a trader. It's not closed off anymore. And now you even have the chance to be better than those traders, the traders of yesteryear. Let me tell you a quick story. I was taking an Uber ride, this is 12 years ago at least, and I was talking with the driver. I tend to do that. And he told me he used to be on the pit. And he's like, dude, I was on the pit. And we're talking. I'm like, oh, so what happened? He's like, I tried the screens. I just couldn't make the transition. And a lot of pit guys had a hard time going from this to the screens. Frankly, nobody ever actually really said it until you actually dive deeper, but it's because the edge was just different, right? Here they had a different kind of edge. Go to the screens, it was different, and they didn't make the transition. In reality, you and people who recognize this have a better opportunity than those guys, and here's why. You have the chance to be the trader without being bound to a single market. If blueberries are slow, if you're trading blueberries, and you're like, man, I got no trades, nothing going on, there's no edge, but potatoes are ripping, go and trade potatoes. Back in the pit days, these guys were stuck here. They're stuck in the blueberry pit while potatoes was going bananas. And maybe they can go run over to the other side, but now run over to the other side, you just open up another window. And in fact, I'm talking about this is like 2009 or something. Like, this has been around for a while, and I think realizing it hasn't been around. So again, I am making an effort here to bring out all this knowledge as soon as I can. Okay. One more guy that I must inform you about. This one's important. I don't know if you guys are ready for this guy. You guys ready for this guy? Yeah, you're ready. I think you're ready. Here we go. There he is. Goofy looking banana guy. Do you know who he is? Let me tell you who he is. He's the wannabe. Okay? He's not a trader, not a speculator, and not an investor. But he makes you think that he is one or all of those. Got to be careful for this guy. Let's go over who is the wannabe. He markets to you to be a trader and or an investor while wearing a cloak of being a speculator. He's not even on the edge timeline curve. I was thinking where to put him on here. Where's the curve? Where's the curve? I was like, all right, where does banana guy show up? I was like, is he over here? He's not even on here. He's negative. Can I put him below? This is probably a success. It's like, I don't know. He's off the chart. You got to be careful on this guy, okay? They're none of the players. Sometimes they started off as speculators. I did notice that since COVID, guys made money. When markets just go up, by the way, there's more of this. Markets go up, investing and trading and speculating is kind of easier. You're just long, right? You're just long. The market's going up. You're just floating with it. And then market corrects, and these guys are like, uh-oh, my edge for 6 months is gone. And usually it's like a few months. Maybe they have a year. Maybe they have 18 months. Very rarely, I feel like I hear like a turning point a year, like 18 months. And they won for a bit through normal variance, and now they're out pitching to you. They pitch both ends of the curve, the trading side and the investing side. They talk about both sides. They're pitching this and they're pitching this. Why isn't this drawing? But they're referring to doing it with this. It's a bizarre mix, and it's not in your favor. They're not in the markets. They're not in tune with the real market. They're outside the farmer's market. That's why he's holding a little billboard here. He's marketing to come on in, baby. Come join the action. He's not in the action. He's outside holding a little billboard, wearing a banana suit with a tie. Okay? So you got to be careful with this guy. I don't want to poo-poo on him too much, but I'm here to help you guys, honestly. I really do want to provide value in helping you situate your mind around this whole universe, okay? There's a lot of bad stuff out there. All right, so let's finally conclude here. 3 types of people. There's a trader, and from now on, whenever you hear me say trader in all my videos, that's who I'm referring to, the guy in the business, in the mix. If you hear me talk about speculators, that's who I'm talking about. The guys who are not in the mix are kind of like willy-nilly in and out. Sometimes they don't even show up to the farmer's market every single day, right? And then there's the investor. I won't talk about the banana guy too much, but I probably will once in a while. All right, I hope you guys get tons of value from this. I certainly enjoyed making this video because I wanted to set the record straight. And I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.